Okay, today's video. Today we are going to do a little bit of an educational video. This is going to be the second one on potatoes. Now, the video that I recently did was, can you grow store-bought potatoes? Well, the video was a little bit thorough, but it could have been elaborated on a little bit more. So in this video, I actually ordered some seed potatoes from Holland Bulb Farms, and these are called Mega Chip White Seed Potatoes from, it looks like, Kennebec. So my last video, I showed you kind of like an overview on how to get the potatoes to grow. Well, not to get them to grow, but potatoes, if you leave them sitting, even though the store-bought ones are usually sprayed with a growth inhibitor, if they're set long enough and the temperature's right and the humidity's right in that, the eyes will sprout, okay? And on a potato, there are many different eyes that can sprout. So, what do you need to do? So I'm going to kind of go through that a little bit more in this video so that way you can see. The same process goes for seed potatoes or potatoes that you do get from the store. All right. Seed potatoes. 5 pounds of potatoes. So a good year yield for 5 pounds of seed potatoes will be about 50 to 75 pounds of usable potatoes, okay? So it's going to be, for every pound, 10 pounds. So you're going to get, well, it depends. So it says 50 to 75 pounds. So you can get a good amount of potatoes from these. So, preparation requirements. Soil should be light, fertile, and acidic, between 5.0 to 5.5. Now, that reminds me, I do have to buy one of those little acidic sensor things. I do have a blueberry bush that I need to check the acidity around the soil. So I really need to get one of those because I need to check the acidity. I do have extra acidity powder stuff that you add to the ground or the soil. Do not use lime soil for potatoes. High pH soil encourages scab disease. Mix a general purpose fertilizer. Generously add compost. And rotate your potato from one year to the next, but not with tomatoes since they're in the same family. This will prevent disease problems. So they say that they want the soil to be light, tilling or plowed, not anything that's hard and harsh. Level the soil surface. Some gardeners will wait a week or so after plowing. Okay, so if you've seen one of my latest overall walking videos, we have a little patch outside that has strawberries, carrots, and I put some potatoes that I bought from the store down around the side. The potatoes did end up, I don't know how many, but a good majority of them actually did seed, and I have potato plants out there. Me being silly, I did not even think of the fact that I put strawberry plants on top of those. So it's going to be fun later on when I dig out the potatoes and try to make sure I save my strawberry plants. So we did buy a galvanized steel above planter for the potatoes. So that way the potatoes, or at least these potatoes, will have their own space. It's not super big, like this is saying you use a big area. It's a smaller area, so we're going to see what luck we have in there. Now, we did block the bottom part of the soil with a weed barrier, and then we filled it with a good compost and topsoil and stuff like that. So we're gonna give these potatoes the best chance we can. So it says, cut the potato into planting pieces containing one or more eyes. Allow the pieces to dry and the cuts to callus over for a few days. Now in my last video, I showed you the eyes, I showed you, cutting them, and I did show you me laying them out on a pillowcase so that way they can air dry. I can't remember if I really went into detail why, but when you cut a potato, the cut is going to be fresh. So for instance, here's my seed potato. I have a really good sprout here and some eyes also over here are sprouting. When you're making your cuts, you want to make sure that you're cutting so that way the sprout is going to face upwards. You don't want to make a cut, like for instance, you can see that right here we have a sprout down here and we have a sprout up here. If I put this in the ground, this eye sprout here will die because your sprout is going to want to go toward the top of the soil, okay? So when you're cutting, you kind of look at your potato, kind of look at where you want to make your cut. This is a fresh cut. You do not want to bury a freshly cut potato. All right, so here's my eye, freshly cut potato. I want this to kind of callus over, to kind of like dry out a little bit before I plant this, because if I plant this now, it has a very, very high probability that it's going to rot or get eaten by something. Okay, so once it calluses over, it's better to plant. You always want to plant with the eyes or the sprouts up. So I do like separating the potato into a couple pieces to make sure each sprout will have its own food supply and energy source. So this potato here will be giving this sprout and this, or this eye, that's kind of a sprout, it's sprouting. This sprout and this eye, this will be giving the nutrients for those to hopefully sprout until they can get roots and get stuff out of the ground. So and this is what I did last time, when I have my fresh potatoes, I will put them on a cloth or pillowcase or just something, and I will carefully, especially when they have growth like this, you want to be careful not to knock, you don't want to knock that off. So I want all parts of the potato to be facing toward the air, okay? Like this one has two cuts. I don't want to put down one side and then have one. I want to have them all facing air. Now, planting. It says sow seeds, which these aren't seeds, these are just pieces. Sow pieces 18 inches apart and 3 to 4 inches deep with the eyes up. All right, so when I planted my other ones, I did not plant them 18 inches apart. So it says 18 inches apart in rows spaced 2.5 feet away. So they want you to plant basically 18 inches apart in rows 2.5 feet away from each other. I did not do that. I'm not gonna lie. I spaced them maybe, I actually did kind of like an L line. I went on the edge of my strawberry bed and then I went down. So I kind of got a good 15 feet length, but I planted my potatoes about every 5 inches away from each other. You know, are they gonna grow? Hopefully. Am I gonna get some potatoes? I'm pretty sure I am. But I did not space them as far away as somebody who actually has a lot of area to plant potatoes. So it does say plant pieces 18 inches apart, 3 to 4 inches deep. I did do that. I did do a good 3 to 4 inches deep. And it says when plants are 5 to 6 inches tall, Fill them up with soil to prevent exposure to light. That will turn the potatoes inedible. I did not know that. So when I go back outside now and I see my potato plant, I'm actually going to get some more soil and put it around the plant. And then it says add a generous layer of 10 to 12 inches of straw or hay to insulate the soil to keep the potatoes cool and moist. Keep them well watered, weed-free and insect-free, and check for diseases. So I did know about the adding straw or hay to the potatoes because, well, that's kind of why I put them in with my strawberries. The strawberries, I'm starting to get strawberries, the little green strawberries, and I'm actually going to end up putting hay underneath my strawberries. So when I was doing my thinking I was smart, I was like, hey, potatoes are gonna need hay too, so why don't we go ahead and put strawberries in the patch, and then on the side of the strawberry patch, do some potatoes. Didn't even think about, in all honesty, I didn't even think that the potatoes were gonna grow out there, but they are. And that's kind of one of the reasons why I put the potatoes and the strawberries together, so I could put hay on it all and keep it all nice and good. But you do need to keep the potatoes in a cool and moist area. Keep them well watered, weed free, which is again another reason why they're with the strawberries, so I can keep weeding that area. You need to monitor for insects and diseases. So that's one thing that I still am having to do some research on. I do spray antifungal. I put Sluggo in there for slugs. I use a spray for aphids and stuff. So I'm trying to stay on it, but I do need to do a little bit more education on potatoes and strawberries. My strawberries, I will be putting in those tool bags, T-U-L-L, like the gift bags that you put potpourri in. I will be putting those over my strawberries to keep them protected from birds and insects. But we have harvest and storage. For highest yields and best storage, potatoes should not be dug up until 2 weeks after the vines are dead. Okay? This allows the skins to set and reduces skin peeling, bruising, and rot. When harvesting at temperatures above 80 degrees, potatoes should be picked immediately and put in a cool, dark place. All right, so on here I actually don't see how long potatoes are supposed to be planted. I mean, I've heard 2 months-ish. If you know, leave a comment in the description. If you've actually had potatoes, when do you start harvesting them? Do you actually wait until you see the plant part die? But yep, see potatoes. We are again gonna put these potatoes in a, see, this piece has a big nice sprout and a little sprout, but we are going to put these potatoes in a raised garden bed, kind of small in space, but we're gonna see what kind of luck we have. And I would do a follow-up on both kinds of potatoes, but this is the part that I really didn't go over a lot, was letting them dry out and callus over. And whenever I did that, the last time I let them dry out and callus over, I let them out for, I do believe, 4 days, and then they kind of turn black and callus and a little bit dry, but about 4 days is what I left them out. And it was pretty warm over here, so they did dry out and callus really nice. Some people will leave the potatoes in windowsills or greenhouses and that. Since my patio is still enclosed with clear plastic, it does get warm in here and it keeps the humidity out, so it's a good place to dry. Oh, my kids are home, so with that, I'm going to go ahead and end this video. And again, I will do an update later on so you can see how everything does grow. And hopefully I can get some potatoes. Wish me luck. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Love hearing from everybody. All right. Bye-bye. All right. So my seedling potatoes have hardened over. And I'm getting my gloves, my shovel, and I'm getting ready to go down to where I am going to grow them, or try to grow them, or attempt to grow them, and hope that I do get some other potatoes. Oh, and yesterday we got a fig tree, or a fig bush. I think it's called beer fig. Yeah, I was doing a little bit of research on it, and it's kind of weird because there's two different kinds of leaves, like a spade leaf and then this leaf, and it says they were supposed to be for the same fig, but I'm not sure. But here we go. This is where the potatoes are gonna go. I know it's a teeny tiny area, but in some of the videos I've seen, potatoes do grow a little bit better in smaller areas. Oh my Lord. Oh, my strawberries are turning red. Oh my gosh. Look. Let's see. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Okay, so mosquitoes are coming out, but I finished putting the seed potatoes in here. It's May the 9th. Just did a good watering for them. And mosquitoes. We will do an update later to see if they grow. All right, my butt is out of here. I'm getting eaten. Bye.